All right, greetings. Welcome everybody to the show. Just give me a second. I'm gonna get everything set up. I want to welcome everybody to the show. Peace and greetings to all the gods and goddesses doing the work on this path. Gonna have to bear with me tonight with allergies. You got me coughing and sneezing a little bit and blowing the old nose. I'm gonna have actually Raven assist me tonight in doing the show. This way I don't go a little crazy with the sneeze. Just give me a second. I'm gonna get everything set up. Send a link to Brother Rodney. All right. Got them the link. All right, just bear with me. Gonna get it set up. Just waiting for them to come in. So a couple quick announcements. I'll run through while we're waiting for them to show up and stuff like. Go push it. We have the ritual on the 30th of August. Just as a reminder, Friday, August 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to attend that ritual, please send me an email to request an invite, and I will send you the information. Okay. You've seen the lineup of the upcoming shows tonight. We have Bokor, Rodney, Coleman on, who should be here shortly, and we'll get things going with that. We have Father Sebastian next week. We got Raven, who will be doing a show next Tuesday. I can't even remember some of the other ones. We got Dr. Bynum back on August 22nd. We have Richard K. Page back September 14th. That's a special Saturday show that'll begin on 4 p.m. Eastern time Saturday. I put that out there early, just so people are aware of it well ahead in advance, because obviously we never really do shows on a Saturday. But as I said before, due to the fact that he is in the United Kingdom, he is on a 5-hour time difference from us. So we tried to start it at time. It makes it a lot easier for Richard, and obviously it's only right to do that. We wouldn't expect him to come on if we started at 8, he'd be starting there at 1 o'clock in the morning, so that wouldn't be cool. All right, so that'll be on the 14th. Again, all of this, everything I'm saying is posted here on the YouTube community section of the page. You can also find all that I'm talking about also on the Primordial Chaos Instagram, the Primordial Chaos Facebook page. If you are interested in a consultation or a reading, when you contact me, please specify which one you want. Also, let me know your days of availability and your time zone that you are in. That saves time. Then I can get right back to you and tell you what I do have available that fits your schedule. Also, again, on August 17th, for those in the New York City area, we will be having a meetup kind of class discussion, get-together type of thing. So if you are in the New York City area, send me an email, and we'll put you down on that list. We're going to be meeting up around early evening, 6, 7 o'clock, right there on 34th and 7th, right in front of Penn Station there, and then we'll depart from there. So if you are in the New York City area and you'd like to link up on that with us, hit me up, send me an email. All right. It's kind of the quick gist of the announcements. Just waiting for Brother Rodney to get here. Hold on one sec. Sent him the link. All right. All right. So as you know, as soon as we get Bokor Rodney here, he's getting to his device now to get on. We're going to be talking about, you see the title, dark magic, dark sorcery, from the voodoo pantheon. Well, we're kind of going to go into a little bit of the history of it. I want to talk with Brother Rodney about the tools of voodoo or voodoo, get into some of the foundational aspects of the practice. Obviously, there's a lot of people that watch the channel know I do go into areas of this, of, you know, having a background of it. I don't practice it traditionally, but we'll go there. All right, we got Raven here. Greetings, Raven. Can you hear me? Everything connection clear? Raven, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just want to make sure the connection was clear. All right, we're just waiting
A
for.
little choppy, but I can hear you.
All right, just waiting for Brother Rodney to get here. Shit, I hate when that happens. All right. But yeah, as I said, we do, you know, touch base on this topic off and on. I know there's people on the path that practice it, but as I said, being on this path in general is very important to be versatile. It's very important not to get stuck in a particular thing. I mean, if it's your choice, if you decide that's what you want to do, that's up to you. But I always recommend you don't get caught up in any one particular thing, because that tends to stunt your growth. Okay. Again, I'll try my best not to be too loud, blowing the nose and whatnot. The whole house broke out with allergies. Me, the little guy, the wifey. So it's that time of the year here. It's hot weather and heat. All right, so let me just check with Bokor. Make sure he got the link. Okay. All right, let me just text him. I sent it. Oh, okay. All right. All right, and again, within the, you know, the time frame and the parameter, I would suggest also get your questions ready. You know, as soon as you have them, you can type them in, and then, you know, we'll go back and retrieve them. No big deal. But you should get those, you know, questions up when you have them, instead of waiting towards the very, you know, very last minute, especially when we have guests on. And some of the guests that are coming on that have written books, you should also. The other reason why I put out some of those fairly early, for those that may not have some of the books that some of these guests, you know, wrote or have written, you can, you know, take that time now to grab some of these books and look through them. A lot of the guests that I bring on, usually in some shape, form, or fashion, influence the listeners on the show, because I talk about these books. The books discuss a lot of the things that we talk about on the show. So when we have these authors here, you know, take advantage of having them here and being able to ask them, you know, the questions, because something motivated or sparked them to write, you know, write their books. Just like we're motivated and sparked on this path to do work, that there was a motivating factor that motivated them to write their book. In my opinion, you know, most of the authors or guests that I bring on the show, I bring them, you know, I reached out to them to bring them on because I think they're thorough in what they do. That's just my opinion. So, you know, take the time to get the work that they put out. All right. All right. I'm just waiting for Bokor to connect with his device. Let me just make sure he's okay. All right. All right, let me double check with him. Hold on. I think I'm gonna give him a call, make sure he's all right. Just double check with him. Make sure he's not having any issues. Okay, there he goes there. All right, he should be coming in a minute. He just text me. All right, he's coming in now. All right. So as I said, I will also have Raven assisting me tonight. Just due to the fact I don't want to be sneezing and having to excuse myself and blow my nose. These damn allergies. All right. All right, so he's on his way in. I keep saying it. He just sent me a link. So yeah, so those are the upcoming things that I mentioned, and I see Raven putting it in the chat. We got the event in October too. I don't want to forget that. That's going to be on a 3-day event in October, which is the 25th to the 27th, which will be a day of lectures, classes, presentations, rituals. Kind of get together. If you are interested in, which a couple of people have already contacted me, as I said, space permitting, if you have a topic you want to present, I would like to get some new people to present at that. Just send me an email, and as long as there's still space left as far as time allows, we'll get you on that. All right, let me see, make sure he's okay. He said he was ready. Hold on, let's see if I can get him on the phone. Make sure he's not having any problems. He said he was ready. Should be in here by now. Brother Rodney, did you get the link? Okay, I don't see you on in here though. You gotta. All right, try it again. If you have a problem, I can just give you a regular call-in number. You won't be able to be seen though. You should be able. Yeah, you should be able to click that link, and it should take you right into the room. Yeah, I don't see you in here, so I'm not sure. You want me to send you a new link? Maybe it's the link. I remember that happened. All right, try it again. Maybe go back out and come back in. See if we see you come in. All right. Yep. All right. He's having little issues. He's gonna try go out, come back in again. Something not working for him. If worse coming to worse, we get jammed up. He's having any tower, give him the phone. I'll have to call him. But let's see if he can get in. He's clicking the link. He says he sees himself in here, but I don't see him. Excuse me. All right, people, we'll get it right. We'll get it right. Let's see if we can get him in here. Yeah, actually, the Google Hangouts is going away in a few days. We won't be able to. We'll have to use another platform if we have to bring a live guest in. They're actually not sure if they're going to replace it with something. No word. But they're doing away with the Google Hangouts. All right, if he's having, I'm going to give him a few more minutes. If not, I'm just going to give him the phone number. This way we don't have this issue. Looks like he's having an issue with his getting in. So let's see. All right, we'll get it right, people. We're just waiting, trying to get him in here. See if he got some issue on his end. Looks like he must be having problems. I think I'm just going to send him the phone number. I'm about to just get him on the phone. It looks like he's having issues trying to get in. As soon as we get Bokor in here, we'll go ahead and get started. One way or the other. So if we can't get him in here, we might have to get him on the phone. Hold on, let me just get that up and running because I don't have that up and running right now. Hold on 1 second. Just going to get that set up just in case we got to go to that. I might have to just send him the phone. Doesn't look like he's getting in. Let me send him the phone number. All right, just send him the call number. If you could tell him if he continues to have problems getting in live, you could call him. Maybe still work on it while he's on the phone. See if we can get him in. Because we've already burned 20 minutes trying to get him hooked up. Get it right, people. Shit, you got to deal with. Yeah, but as I was saying, just so you, most people who are on YouTube might know, or Google, they're doing away with the Google Hangouts. That's including the Green app, which I used to like to use. That's a good way to communicate with people. So there won't be this platform like this anymore, and that Green app, the Google Hangouts app, they're doing away with that. Now, they haven't said that they're replacing it with anything. I haven't heard anything. So you would have to stream pretty much another platform to bring somebody in live. Yeah, so this was an easy platform to use. I mean, there's other options you can still bring it live, where you would have to stream from another platform and feed it here, which I don't like to bother with any of that shit. All right. But yeah, so that's gonna, all right, I got him on the phone here. Greetings, Brother Rodney. Greetings, Brother Rodney. Can you hear me? Brother Rodney, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, so I guess you couldn't get in. You was having problems getting in, huh?
I went back to the Hangouts and updated everything, and it just gets me back to the screen. When I hit the button to join the call, it cuts me off.
Really? All right, not sure.
It just takes it back and says cancel. I hit it again. I sign back on under my account, back on the screen, and it says join video call. I'll hit it, and it pops me back out again.
Now, when you click it, when you click the email, where does it take you when you click the email? It takes you to your Google Hangouts app?
Yeah, it takes me to the Google Hangout app, and I just hit it, and it brings me back up to the your chaos show, and I go ahead in. I use my account because it asks me what account I want to use. I hit my Bokor account. It brings me up. It shows the screen. It shows me on the on my screen. I mean, I'm on my video showing me. The bottom says join video call. As soon as I hit that, it pops me back out.
I'm not sure what that is. But that's what you did. That's what you did last time, right? Same thing, right?
Yeah, the same thing. But I've been having trouble with the Samsung. Just had to update it. It shut me down to update the new system, so I don't know. I'll never buy another Samsung again.
All right. Well, we got you here loud and clear. We'll have to work with this unless you figure something out during the show. You can get in.
Yeah, well, nobody wants to be muggly.
Hey, so anyway, we want to welcome you back to the show. Thanks for coming back and spending some time with us.
I appreciate it. Every time y'all call, I'll have you come back, man, and listen to my ramblings.
No, appreciate it. Well, what I want to kind of discuss, and again, if you could, before we begin, obviously, more so for newer listeners that may not be familiar. I know most of my audience is pretty familiar with you. If you can just briefly introduce yourself and also let people know where they can contact you, your page, your platform, and kind of let maybe the first time people listening, let them know, you know, what a Bokor is, what do you do, a little bit of your background, your history, and your connection to this spiritual path. Let's start there. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, my name is Rodney Coleman. I am a Bokor in the tradition of New Orleans voodoo. I've been practicing voodoo since I was 10 years old through my bloodline, passed down to me from my great-grandparents that came out of the island of St. Dominique, which is now Haiti, as slaves to the port of New Orleans. And it has been passed down to me. It passed over my three sisters, and the spirits picked me for some reason. A Bokor in voodoo tradition, New Orleans voodoo tradition, is after a Hugan, which I was a full Hugan at 14 years old. My grandfather pulled me to the side and said I would walk his path as a Bokor. That is a person who can work the Rada spirits, the Petro spirits, the Gede family. As my grandfather explained it to me, we are good in demolition work. We can put somebody in their grave if it comes to it, or we can bring people back together. The difference between a Bokor and a Hugan, and rituals and things like that, we stand in the background. We no longer wear white. Black is mostly our color. And in rituals, unless we are performing the rituals, we stand in the background. And that's how we partake in the ritual and everything. We don't join in with the singing, the drums, or anything like that. It's kind of like, yeah, you take the position, and if the spirits allow you, you're kind of set to the back. I always laughed and joked about it as I was the cousin that shows up nobody wants to talk to. And that's about it. I've been doing it now 58 years old. A lot of people say, oh, you're blessed, but after all these years, sometimes you find out it's a curse. It takes a lot from you. as a Bokor, more than Hugans or even Hugan Makuts. We experiment on ourselves. You have to know what you're doing to work with a client or to pass something on to a client. Basically, as I get older, I try not to work on myself too much anymore. And the way I understand it, only a male can be a Bokor, but a female can be a sorceress. And they hold about the same amount of energy that a Bokor would. But it does not take away from Hugans and Mambos who may have not walked the path or been taught. Don't never fool yourself that a Hugan or a Mambo can't bloody your nose just as bad as a Bokor can. Maybe that, that kind of covers it without getting into the secret handshake part of it.
Okay. Now, if you could just briefly, Brother Rodney, the Hugan, the Mambo, and the Bokor, if you could just, for maybe people that are not familiar with those titles and exactly what they mean, can you explain the rank and kind of what's their position in the spiritual path? Briefly. I know you can't go into the intricate secrets of it, but kind of the order of how that works within the spiritual system.
Most of the older times in Haiti, when it came from Haiti and into the port of New Orleans, it was mostly bloodline. And as time progressed, nowadays regular people get initiated. But it is a male gets picked if the spirits want to walk with him, and they start the training as a Hugan. A Hugan, you hear the term Hugan, Hugan Makut. Hugan Makut is just a Hugan that travels. He doesn't have a house or anything like that. He mainly travels. They're more in the Rada part of the religion, but they can work and dabble in the Petro. They're there to bring the community together. They can marry people. They can deliberate between problems in a family and things like that. And the same thing as a Mambo. A Mambo has the same power where she can help the community, guide the community, help patch marriages and things like that, and marry people. What differs from a Bokor, we walk that path as a Hugan, but then we're taking down the path of, I think the way my grandfather said it, he seen that I had a dark heart. I don't know, I was like 14 years old, man, I didn't know about that. So I thought it was different, and as we got into it, it got more intricate. He showed me many secrets that I didn't even know and would have never knew about. And I'll stand there and talk to a Hugan or Mambo, and I'll explain something, and they can catch on to what I'm saying, but have no idea where I came from with it. They have one more Hugan in the mix as many Hugan, the titles. As everybody know, I had a speech impediment when I was very, very young, so words I know I can't pronounce right, I won't. Basically, he's a raiser of the dead. To me, that's almost hand in hand with a Bokor. But basically, that's what he has, a dark heart, and he is the raiser of the dead. Mostly black magic, like a Bokor. The Mambos are the same. A Mambo can be picked through bloodline and taught and become a sorceress. And they may be a little bit more, if you had the heads up with one in black magic and had to be against one, they're probably a little bit stronger because all females do things collectively. They think about it before they do it.
Right.
So it's probably worse to come up against a sorceress, but they're hard to find these days. Like I said, in modern times, and this is the confusion part I get, people will be initiated into this religion, other religions, Santeria, Ifa, Lucumbe, and they figure that, they can roll the dice. Basically, initiation is the first chapter of a very, 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 very thick book. And I hear that a lot when people call me. I was initiated, and this and that. But you're calling me because you did something now you can't control.
Right.
And most of the times when they call me, I try not to be blunt with people, but I have to say what I have to say. A lot of people, I will tell straight out, I'm surprised you're still alive, considering the things you mixing together.
Right.
I had a young man call me just not recently, about a few, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, and was delving into the Goetia and wanted to work with a jinn or a demon.
Right.
And he connected with it, and he's calling me now. I have no idea what you're doing.
Right.
I don't like to just leave you hanging, for sharks, but that's something you have to patch up. And that's what I mean when the initiates figure, oh, yeah, I can roll the dice now. No, what you're rolling is, something that you might not be able to control.
Correct.
Even as a Bokor, my grandfather, while he was training me, had me make mistakes, but didn't tell me until my nose was bloody. And things backfired and blew up in my face. And he would just be sitting there with that shit-eating grin on his face. And now you know what not to do. And I was like, you could have told me that ahead of time and I wouldn't have did it.
That's right.
But I guess you have to do it. The difference with New Orleans voodoo, where I think, and this is me, where it goes from Haitian voodoo. Haitian voodoo is Haitian voodoo. It's bloodline from Haiti. When my great-grandparents came to the port of New Orleans, I always wanted to say this and I always forget when in our podcast. Back then, it wasn't voodoo. Everything was called hoodoo.
Okay.
Everybody was a two-headed doctor, or women was, conjure women, conjure doctors. I'm not sure. I think after enough Haitian slaves came in, it began to turn into the word voodoo. But hoodoo was already prevalent here. Tell you, it is a practice, and voodoo is a religion.
Right.
Okay, I really hadn't. I understand that if you're saying full blown out ritual. And a lot of people,
Right.
a lot of times through my past, I sit here at night and I'm going over my paperwork and I'm getting packages ready to ship out. I think to myself, how easy it would have been years ago to call myself a hoodoo worker, a conjure doctor.
Right.
I'm joking myself to eliminate the middleman. But I mean, you know yourself in your religion. It doesn't make a difference. Title is a title.
Correct.
Like I said, at 58 years old, I never want to be on top of the hill. Somebody else can do that. I like flying under radar. You get pop shots taken out at you when you become maybe a little bit popular. I'm like everybody else, no matter what my grandfather seen in me. With a dark heart, I'm still a human being. I do not like negative, being negative.
Right.
I've learned a little bit more now on my YouTube channel, which I have a YouTube channel for the folks I never heard of it before. It goes under Bokor, Rodney, Coleman, New Orleans Voodoo. You can type that in Google, and my ugly face will pop up. I think as you make more videos, you have almost a page for yourself on Google.
Right.
Just watch my videos. If you can sit down, listen to my ramblings, and look at my ass. I've learned, and it's hard to do, still being a human being, when somebody puts a negative comment, and I know it's bullshit, and working on the streets of New Orleans as an ex-police officer for 18 and a half years, and also holding a master's degree in psychology, we can batter back and forth what's truth and what's lies all day long, typing. I can't present no evidence. You can't present no evidence. So I've learned now recently is to leave the negativity on there, let my subscribers look at it, read it, and make it form their own opinion. And I will come back and defend myself with a rebuttal video. That's about all I can do.
Right.
But I do have a YouTube channel if y'all want to check it out. Like I said, it's Bokor Rodney Coleman, and I think I almost have 3,000 subscribers, 3,000 views. I don't know. I don't make that many videos back to back to back. I make videos when I have something to say. I don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. I never did.
Right.
But I try to relay things in a way a person will understand it. My clients can tell you, if you can't work with me and I tell you not to do something, don't do that, don't do it, don't call him, don't call her, you keep doing it, and you keep calling me. We got no argument after, about the fourth time, I'll cut you loose.
Right.
I can't help you no more.
Right.
You're digging yourself deep in the grave. And I've got clients that'll text me back, well, it must be rude to client. No. One of us has a hard head, and it's not me.
Right.
I'm trying to help you. You came to me.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's hard to ask somebody when you first talk to them if you ever been diagnosed with a mental problem.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna say yeah. I know that as a psychiatrist. I'm a psychologist. Nobody goes, yeah, I'm a nutcase. I'm a psychopath. And you find out further down the line you're working with this nutcase, and shit begins to fall apart.
Right.
Your life,
Right.
But I don't know if that answered the question. I digressed a little bit.
No. It's good. I'm glad you went into that area, but something just to piggyback off something you said. Like you said, when you're dealing with clients, that is something you said is key. Myself and listening to you just talk, you hit the nail on the head. I think sometimes when people reach out or they want spiritual work done, or they don't really understand sometimes how this works because they have preconceived notions of how they think it should go. And
exactly.
And as you said, when you're giving them instruction, they don't understand that when you're telling them, follow it this way. But I think when impatience sets in and it's not going their way, and I found some are coming to hear what they want to hear. Like, for an example, I know you do different areas of work, and I know you don't really deal with spiritual readings, but I find in spiritual consultation or divination with the spirits, people want to come and hear shit like I'm so special and I'm chosen. But when that doesn't come up, they're not hearing all the things to fluff and cater to their ego when some serious shit comes up. It's
Exactly.
like, they get disappointed and they don't understand how this works. And they don't, like, as you said, as the Bokor doing the work, it's frustrating for you because it's taxing. As you said, it takes from you, and then you got to deal, with that nonsense. But I'm glad you touched on that. So go ahead.
No, but you're completely right with the readings. And I thought about this the other day, and I'm glad you called me because I wanted to say this. And I don't think I've said this before. Being a psychologist, people go get a reading. The first thing a reader will tell you, you have a dark spirit around you. and it hit me. at 58 years old, after hearing this, and even with my background, getting my degrees, we are the dark entity. We are the dark cloud.
That's right.
Every evil little shit we did from being a child, we are the dark entity.
Right.
That's what they're seeing.
Right.
But
And
they don't realize that. They think everything's evil. When it hit me, that's us. Everybody. You sit the Pope down and do a reading, you have a dark cloud behind you. Yes, because he was a Nazi in World War II and shot down British and American bombers. Yeah, I bet you he has a dark entity around him.
Sure.
I do, you do, everybody does stuff for a child. And I realize we are that dark cloud.
no, that's an excellent point. And you know, people hear the word dark, like you said, unfortunately, and I don't look at it like that, and I know you don't. As you said, that darkness, or as we like to call it here, the darkness and the chaos is where all things emerge from. It's just about making order out of it, and that's kind of like where somebody like you comes in. Sometimes people, as you say, they open up gates or connections to these spirits that they're not prepared for. And I see that all the time. People, you know, they think, you know, because I got initiated or I read something, and it goes beyond that. But so two things I wanted to focus on, Bokor. If you could elaborate a little bit. I mean, I'm not telling you to give a detailed history lesson. Just so, again, for people that may not be familiar, I know there's different viewpoints, and we've talked scattered about this on the several times you've been on the show. The unique thing that I've always said about the voodoo, hoodoo, or the New Orleans tradition of it, you will see incorporated in there many other different systems. So I'm saying that to say, if you can give a brief history, because I've always said, it's just my opinion, I'm saying this and I'm not speaking for you. I have always said we have so many people in this that want to practice African spirituality, and they think that they have to go. We know its origin is in Africa, no doubt, but everybody's always on this go back to Africa kick, not realizing we have such a strong, rich history here in America. So if you can explain a little bit, and again, I know we could probably do a whole show on that, kind of the origins of how the culture got to New Orleans. And if you can explain to people, you will see aspects of Ifa, Santeria, Spiritism, working even with some of the Native American Indian spirits. A lot of this stuff is incorporated in the path, and kind of how that got all connected, because I think the traditionalists don't understand it. So if you could basically, and I know you know the history of New Orleans and the culture well, because you were brought up in it. So if you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Okay. Well, of course, like you said, and you hit a good point, everything came from the continent. As slaves, we brought over what we were taught in Africa, Congo, every other region. But when it got to the Caribbean and each slave was bought at a different island, it took on different things. Hispaniola, Cuba, was Santeria. It took that path. Puerto Rico took 21 Division. Then there's Candomblé that went into Jamaica. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jamaica.
Brazil,
and the rest of the islands. And I'm here to tell you, Candomblé is something not to mess with. I mean, Candomblé goes straight to the throat.
Yeah.
This is what always got me on Haiti and Dominican Republic. One part of the island is Spanish and practices 21 Division Santeria. And the other side is Creole French. I never understood that, how one island could be so diverse and hate each other. But anyway, I digress. When it got to Haiti, okay, let me start at Cuba. From my father. My father's Afro-Cuban and stuff, so I have family in Cuba and in Haiti and abundant in Miami. It was Santeria. It was almost still nature-based like it was from the continent. And it stayed like that, and it grew amongst the people and things like that, which is very unique in Cuba. In '58, when Fidel Castro kicked out Fulgencio Batista, when the start of the communist country, I say atheist country, but he had enough sense to know I'm not going to touch this religion, because many of the rebel fighters in the mountain with him practiced Santeria. So he let that flourish. And in defense of Cuba, Fidel Castro wasn't a good old mountain boy. That man had a PhD. Why? Because that's why they call him Dr. Castro. Everybody that was around him was highly educated. And to this day, Cuba produces more doctors than most Caribbean islands produce bananas. Education is free all the way to the PhD level. You go to Cuba and it's almost stepping back into time. There's still restrictions on Cuba that was left over from Kennedy, Khrushchev, and Castro, Fidel, which they need to shake off. We helped the Germans build back up. We helped the Japanese build back up. We helped Vietnam build back up. So what's the problem with Cuba? And it's a beautiful country. They love seeing Americans. And I tell people, I want to learn something. Okay, well, I got some ideas for you in Miami. You know, let me call them and set the path for you, and you talk to them. My path is voodoo. But if somebody's really serious about it and they got the money to back themselves, I suggest, look, get your passport, go into Cuba, and learn the tradition from almost where it started. And I hear a lot of people make the comment, well, that's crooked there too. No, it's not. First of all, it's still a communist country. They're doing everything they can to appease America, to get tourism and stuff to help build the country up. The last thing the Communist Party wants is a bunch of Americans bitching at the embassy that they got taken for something. So no, if you go there and spend $500, maybe $1,000 to be initiated to Santeria, what you're going to be initiated in the real Santeria. Here in America, I'd like to pass out one day watching a little dude on his YouTube site from Miami, anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000.
That's right.
He said it's the poor man's religion with rich man prices.
That's right.
$50,000.
Look,
And
Bokor.
that's not if you pick for the Warriors.
Right. I could tell you. I could tell you this on that note real quick. I know people that have mortgaged their houses to get crowned or initiated, which is crazy.
I know, and I sit back and I hear that. I'm sitting here going, man, who did all that know what they're doing?
That's right.
You know, because if you spent that kind of money, and you're supposed to have some juice behind you, and especially if they want to, if they are initiated already in Santeria, they want to take it further to Palo Mayombe. Once again, Cuba's a good place because you're going to be taught the right way. It's like if you can find the right people in Haiti to learn Haitian voodoo, if you find the right family to do it where you don't become the sacrifice for that night, you're going to know more than somebody here in the United States. And people get initiated here in the United States and in Haitian voodoo and start pissing all over New Orleans voodoo. Well, we all younger sisters or brothers, we came from Haiti too. But that's okay. Okay, I digressed again.
No, that's okay.
What you're asking is, when it got to each island, it became different. It took its own path. When it got to voodoo getting to Haiti, it became more militant because they were under the gun of the slave master. So it became more militant, more violent, more dark. 1804, the Hugans and Bokors got together, sacrificed the black pig and drank from the blood and decided it was on, and the revolution started. And Haiti is one, I think, of the only countries in the world who won their independence. Well, no, I can't say that because the United States did that too. Sorry, don't nobody get mad at that. Through revolution. But the thing about Haiti is everybody that was in power took care of themselves. And I think that's the path that Haiti always took. Everybody in power. And it culminated with supreme power with Papa Doc Duvalier, Francis Duvalier. A highly educated man, was a medical doctor. Got the name of Papa Doc, walking. And I say again, walking through all the villages of Haiti, curing people of the Yaws disease with penicillin. So he got the name Papa Doc. And of course, being Haitian, they figured he had some spiritual oomph to him. And he probably did. I know he practiced voodoo. I don't know how far he was. I knew he was a hoodoo. And decided to run for president in Haiti and won. And the man had some good ideas. But Haiti being Haiti, the army would always overthrow the president. So the first thing he did was overthrow the army. And then he was diabetic. He fell into a diabetic coma. Now, around this time, two of my uncles stepped in and were bodyguards of Papa Doc. I guess they would talk to him Occult. I mean, we can't color it any other way. My uncles were highly educated men, Bokors in their own right. One of my family members said that his father was the most kindest, gentlest man at the house, but when he left and got to the presidential palace, he changed. If Papa Doc said, kill that person, he would kill them without blinking an eye. So that's the power Papa Doc had. He had the people of Haiti actually saying, who was afraid to think bad thoughts of him. And that came about when he went into a diabetic coma for 9 hours. And when he was revived from it after they flew him to Guantanamo Bay, something went wrong. He wasn't the same man, and he got more darker, more violent. And then he passed, and his son, baby Doc, took over, Jean-Claude, but had no kind of anything. The spirits passed him over like a 747. He was a playboy. He spent the money. He flaunted it in front of people's face. And when the people of Haiti realized, hey, wait a minute, he ain't got the Jews' daddy here. Well, he was gone. Then the revolving door of presidents came in. To this day, a president is now full term for 4 years. Half the country wants him, the other half wants to kill him. Now I hear that Baby Doc's son is going to try to run for president. Personally, I think his last name will bring some order back to the country,
Right.
but I'm not sure. There's so much going on there. Half of the people want the island to get back where it could be a pearl in the Caribbean. Now all of a sudden, look at the shit that's going on in the Dominican Republic. I mean, what's happening there? American tourists are just getting ass raped, basically. A lady got the shit beat out of her all the way into intensive care by her hotel workers. So I'm not sure what's going on that island. But as far as Haiti, I used to send money to my family members there, and it was just simple, basic. My uncles got with me and said, look, we're not trying to reshape the wheel. Let's just get our money together and make sure the kids at school has a hot meal. Okay, okay, that's simple. Okay, we can handle that. But one of my uncles, after about 2 years, called me and was highly upset. He said, look, we're going to cut this operation off. I was like, what happened? He said, I'll stop at one of the schools today and the kids will eat cold cereal. I said, okay, was that a reason? He said, oh yeah, I checked, made sure the kitchen hadn't had problems or anything. He said, everything worked in the kitchen, put nothing in the kitchen. He said, so somebody skimmed the money. Well, that we had to send out money elsewhere to do something. So when you try to help, and I learned a long time ago wearing a badge, and I was bad for this, I'm guilty. I wanted to save the world, and I realized too late the world doesn't want to be saved.
That's right.
Then my great-grandparents were sold into slavery from Haiti before the revolution. Came into the port of New Orleans and was bought and went on to the plantations. My grandparents were unique people. They could read and write. which once they got their ass into New Orleans, that was a big no-no. That was a death sentence. All right? That wasn't just being tied to a tree and horsewhipped. No, your ass died. So I have a book that was passed down through the family, and finally to me because it passed over my sisters. My great-grandfather and great-grandmother wrote down everything they did and their spells and their potions. And I still use that. It's hard for me because when my great-grandmother would get upset, she would stop writing English and go into Creole French. And I didn't understand what that lady was saying. It takes me days to sit there and try to figure out what she's saying. But I have that to fall back on. And I tell a lot of my clients, I still do things the old way. I still use mason jars. I still use the blue cobalt bottles to send oils in. People want to know why my oils cost so much because it's handmade. It looks and smells like it came out of the bayous and swamps. It's not to smell good. It's to work.
That's right.
So, and everything else in the Kansas United States got commercialized as everything else. Like I said, when they came here, from what I understand, the voodoo wasn't a word. It was hoodoo, conjure doctors.
Right.
So I'm not really sure where it picked up after and how it became New Orleans voodoo. And it seems like it's different now. You practice New Orleans voodoo, but I practice hoodoo. Well, we both walk hand in hand because we're doing the same thing that a hoodoo practitioner will do. Right. I was lucky and fortunate enough to meet an elder in one of the Indian tribes in the swamp in the bayous of Terrebonne Parish. And I listened to that man. He showed me things about the roots, the leaves, the moss, the mud, the waters. And I tried to pump him for the information of Rougarou, which is in the tribes in the bayous and swamps. That is passed on to a person who did something to the community. The spiritualist, the shaman, would introduce this curse upon this person, usually a man. And well, Rougarou is exactly what it is, a werewolf in their terms. And he still had the senses of a human being, but would transform into the werewolf. And I wanted that secret. He wanted the secret of zombie. I couldn't pass that on, and he wasn't going to pass it on to me. But to us, it's a wordplay. Rougarou is a spirit to us that we will release onto a victim and to affix themselves onto that victim. As a psychologist, it's called sleep paralysis. Sometimes the terms on Google is still called the old hag syndrome. That to us is a Rougarou. Right. And it's just wordplay. I told the story on one of my YouTube tapes about the lady, Madame Lalaurie, and the information that was passed down, and I passed the information down the story that was told to me. And nobody really knows to this day what happened to her. When the shit hit the fan, she had a heads up on it. But as it was written down by my great-grandmother, she was tracked down at one of the plantation homes along the river. And Bokor was introduced into New Orleans because of the heinous things she used to do to her slaves. Just the tortures she used to do. And he released a Baka. To us, a Baka is a demon. And the Baka showed up from the writings of my great-grandmother in her room as butterflies, and that is one of the ways they appear. And when they found her, as it was written by my great-grandmother, her hair was turned white, her eyes were sunk in, her skin looked like she had been dead for 5 years. And through the butterflies, what she was trying to say, the Bokor pulled the trigger and hit the target. Wow. So she got her just rewards, and even her house had been moving around from hands to hands. Once it was a restaurant, they couldn't make it. The last one there was the actor Nicolas Cage. and he had to vacate because of bumps in the night. So the city of New Orleans took over and made it a museum. I've been in there several times, and when they take you into the attic, if you're in tune spiritually, shit you not, it's like getting hit by a freight train. I mean, you can just the shit she did up there. So, in the question that I deviated from, each of the religions went to different locations and took on its own aspects. For voodoo, when it got to Haiti, it became more militant because of being slaves. When it got here in the States, the militant calmed down a little bit because after the 1804 revolution, the governor of Louisiana cut off all slave trades from Haiti. He didn't want that to happen in New Orleans.
Right.
And that's basically about when the slave trade ends for Haiti. Now they went on to other ports, Florida, and places like that along the coast.
Right.
So it was hoodoo when they first got here. Somewhere along the line it became voodoo, and then somewhere along the line it got commercialized as New Orleans voodoo. Yes, a lot of lights, cameras, and action for the tourists, but never think that lurking in the dark, there's real practitioners, male and female, voodoo, hoodoo, and shamans that will knock your dick completely in the dirt. And a lot of people call me and other workers and tell me how many thousands of dollars have been taken and stuff. And I hear the things that they say. A client recently, when I signed them on, said that, well, you're going to take a picture of the work? The last person did. First of all, you don't take pictures of your work. That's bad luck. You don't do that. You're cursing yourself. You don't take pictures of your work at all. And if you're just taking pictures of that work for that client, that work is taking the same picture for every other client. That's a generic alter they have, he or she has.
Right.
So yeah, if you didn't know ahead, you got taken. When somebody tells you in any religion you go to, voodoo, Santeria, anybody, yeah, we'll wrap this up in 3 weeks. Hang the phone up. No, we don't. We work on a spirit's time, and I make that clear on every client I sign on. Because they all, how long do you? Everybody wants a time frame. Everybody wants a quick fix.
Exactly.
Everything today is on the app.
Right.
Well, it don't work like that.
Nope.
I've got clients that'll call me up, and nothing's happening. I don't see no movement. Dude, you only got your package a week ago.
Right.
But I have clients that I have one now. She's getting major movement, and I sealed everything up and shipped her out. The day of, she started getting movement. And I tried to explain to people, you having that package in your hand is only part of the equation. It's when the worker seals it and makes the deal with the spirits. It goes out, not when you get it. Because, you're going to send instructions. Well, as a human being, as a psychologist, people can't follow instructions.
Nope.
Can't. You ever been behind people that push on a door and say pull? You ever been behind somebody that walks up a fucking escalator?
Yeah.
So no. If you're making a cake and it takes 3 eggs and you forget one, you still got a cake. If I write an instruction down, you don't understand it. And it may be simple love work. Well, 2 things. Well, 3 a lot of things. Now, 1, the spirits ain't gonna work, but they shut you off. 2, you'll never get that person back, he or she. 3, you may piss something off to come visit you. So I'm on the phone when they get it. I want to tell them exactly what to do with it. How, and so I can hear you and you can hear me. And don't realize when you're dealing, and my hat goes out to a lot of workers and another Bokor, all the people we deal with, I just want to give you an update on my work. I know what your work is. That's the thing about it. We see and feel it. You know, we'd like to hear an update, get intel from the field, but we know it is. We know we didn't just cut you loose on your own. That's our baby we put out. That's the spirits that we entrapped in there. We know we get shots way before you get it. And a lot of them get facetious. A lot of them get smart ass and smart mouth. And I add it down. Well, I tell you what, from your vast voodoo experience. Why don't you go ahead and do that? And they take that as me being rude. No. And I said that on one of my videos. You know when I'm rude. You will know when I'm rude.
Right.
I'll curse you out ways and words you never heard of. I'm trying to help you. You came to me. They'll have to work for a week. Is there anything else we can do stronger? Yeah, a lot of things we can do. But you only paid, for the, shit. You paid for, what is it, coach seat on an airline? You ain't in first class. I'm sorry, it's a business.
Yeah.
And a lot of things I do on my own after, I don't charge them for. But then what pisses me off, and I know better, you know better, and you probably tell me after I say it, Rodney, you're a dumb motherfucker. You do something, okay, I'm going to fix this up for you. Now, to me, when somebody tells me that and don't tell me a price, okay, cool. It's free. It is. I ain't going to ride you. I'll get it when I get it. You sent the package out yet? Did I give you a tracking number yet?
Exactly.
It's free. I mean, it's coming to you, but I have paying clients that's ahead of you. I thought being more smart than I thought I was, I take appointments now. Dude, I'm here to tell you that was the worst mistake of my life.
You're right. It was.
I
agree.
I don't know what's worse, taking the calls as they came in or trying to schedule an appointment. But my phone ain't slowed down.
Right.
I mean, and I tell people, I was raised, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say if you pay $50,000, I'll be lying. But if I'm talking to a client or a customer or a potential client, and you calling me, I will not hang up on that person and take your call. Because I hate being told, I gotta go and take this call. What makes it sound like you wasn't even listening to me.
Right.
But I will text you, I'll hit the button, and type it in, I'm on a call right now. I'll get back with you later.
Right.
I'm not gonna hang up on that person. So I'm waiting for that Mount Vesuvius to erupt in my face.
Exactly.
But you know, and I know, sometimes I feel like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I shit you not, brother. I sit here and I got a skull on my desk, and I'm over here rubbing his head, trying to figure out what to do. Matter of fact, I call it Papa Doc. What to do when I'm rubbing his head over here. And the only thing vibration I get from it is, well, you should become a doctor. Man, shut your ass up. So people that calls for work and you have no idea what's going on. First of all, another thing, and you've heard this too. Well, I'm trying to learn. I'm not trying to teach you. Okay?
Exactly.
I'm trying to learn. You see, I'm learning. No, you ain't. So I ain't teaching you nothing.
That's right.
I'm doing it. They biting at the bits. They cool when they come on board. You tell them about movement and everything like that. But then 2-3 weeks into the work, if you're not getting anything, they begin to trip out. And I got to calm them down.
Yep.
I get people that call me. I would make so much money as a psychologist talking to them in the office that I'm doing now. And you got to calm them down. You know what I'm talking about. Our last venture out on the last podcast, remember the young lady that called?
Which one?
The last one that...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I do.
You knew what I knew in her voice.
That's right. I remember that.
And so you know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And I'm here to tell you, and I said this before, I think I said this before, but I tell a lot of my clients, when I was wearing a badge on the street, I had to go to a complaint with a young lady who was very depressed and everything like that. And she reminded me of one of my daughters. My daughters wasn't that old yet. And I told her, look, I got 30 minutes left on shift. Get throw some water in your face, comb your hair. I'll come back, pick you up. We're going to have coffee. We're going to talk. Right. I got to go run these calls. And, I can't just, hang out. And when somebody's crying and stuff, how they, really? You coming back? Yeah, I'm coming back. Left. Well, I guess you didn't believe me. 10 minutes after I left, we got a call, shots fired when I kicked the door, and she blew the back of her head off.
Wow.
So I guess she didn't believe that I was coming back.
Wow. That's hard.
I'm not bearing that cross again.
I don't blame you. That's tough.
Yeah. I'm not bearing that cross again.
No, that's tough.
So you can try to help somebody, and I know after we hung up, you talked to her, and I don't know how long you talked to her after that, but I knew in her voice, your hands was going to be full. You had some damage control to do with her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know that. I know that feeling. I do, and I'm like I tell everybody, I was coming back. I swear to God, I was coming back.
Yeah, you got to live with that. That stays on your mind. And you know what the thing is frustrating with stuff like that? You can see I don't know if you want to just call it an illness. In a sense, it is because they're going through some stuff. You can see it. And in a sense, you can kind of, see it play out. And I hate when I see that. I see it play out in certain scenarios, even to the point where it could be something drastic. What happened with the young lady you just talked about, that, didn't believe you were coming back to do something that drastic. I think when you say the cross to bear, it's tough when you can see how deep that person, has sunk, or how, it's tough to see it, but they can't see it, and it's frustrating. I think that's the part of the carrying bearing the cross. It's tough because they can't see it, and it's like, how do you get them to see it? Look, you can come out of this rut, but I don't know, man. When people get there,
I felt like shit. One as a human being, too, as somebody, not even a Bokor. Let's fall back to my hooligan roots. And let's face it, I'd already made my master's from the University of New Orleans.
right.
I failed three ways.
Right.
And to this day,
Right.
that cross gets heavier and heavier and heavier. But that
Sure.
people say, oh, you can't do that. No, fuck it. That's who I am now.
Right.
Okay? That's who I am. It makes me.
See,
And that's what a lot of people need to realize when they're coming on board with us. We can only do so much, but you got to fight for yourself.
big time.
If you want that person back, it's your intention to get them back. Our Magick will do it. If we need to help you get a job or take something off of you, don't leave it all on that one worker.
That's right.
It can't be done if you can't help
No.
yourself.
No.
I said it before. If you're drowning, I'll throw you the life ring. It's up to you to grab it.
And that's a good
So
point.
my heart was bleeding for you, bro. After we got off and we signed off after 4 hours. Only thing I said, man, I pray to God that man don't have the same thing I had.
No.
And I was going back. I swear to God, I was going back.
Yeah. No, I believe you. Trust me. And these are the things I'm talking about when you do this type of work. People don't understand what it takes from you. And I think this is the part they don't understand. That coupled with all the things you said, people, getting impatient, hitting you up, and then mistaking your kindness for weakness. Like you say, sometimes you extend to do something, you ain't charging them, but then they have the balls to call you, Ed, did you send my shit out? Wait a minute. You didn't pay for it. Yeah, come on.
You can tell in their voice, you can tell in the text. I mean, shit, the way everybody text messages these days, you can read somebody's text by the words they use.
Sure.
And I didn't forget about you. I got a list sitting in front of me with sticky notes.
Right.
I got sticky notes on my desk. I ain't forgot about you.
Right.
But I got to work you in the schedule of this person who paid me $500, $600, $700,000. I got to work you in that. You're a freebie.
That's right.
Okay. You already have ongoing work. And I know as a human being, people will take your kindness as a weakness. They will take your politeness as a weakness. And when you call off and strike like a cobra, they're standing there holding that wound going, oh, why you did that? I mean, I try to live by the rules that my grandfather gave me. It's 3 very simple rules. 1, I will not be made a fool of. 2, I will not be taken advantage of. 3, I will not be laid a hand on. If everybody tried to live like that, maybe we'll be better. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm very bad of holding things inside, not to say anything. And then when it's time, it comes out all at once like a tsunami. And I know that's wrong. I would not have to diagnose somebody saying, man, you can't do that, or ma'am, you can't do that. I don't practice my own medicine.
No.
And
yeah.
I mean that's just maybe have a little patience. I know you're going through shit. I know that, and I tell my clients. There's not too many things my clients will call that I hadn't been through. Man, I lost relationships. Imagine a 15, 16-year-old boy who is just, got fully initiated and break up with his girlfriend, 15, 16 years old. That's the love of your life. There was nobody else in the world. And the deal is you can't do shit for yourself.
Right.
You can't. That's part of the deal. People ask you, why you not millionaires? Well, that's part of the deal. We can't be. No, we can't slip through the back door.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been in that cage looking out. I've been in that place where I lost my job. I've been in that place where people turned on me like a pack of wild animals, and I'm still there.
Yeah.
But I know, and I tell people I kind of understand it. They tell me, well, you need to take a break. You need to think about yourself. Yeah, but people don't look at it like that. I got a problem. I paid for him to do it. I don't care what, yeah. If I fold up, then what you gonna do?
Look, there's something that I think a part of this, it's two things I wanted to add. One, before I forget, and then to piggyback off of what you were saying. And I probably never have openly shared this with anybody, but one thing with the client thing that I want to throw out there, and I know we've talked about this, and when you do work, we may not do exactly the same work. I know everybody has, but the point being is, one thing I can't stand is a person, for an example, that, and I say this openly, and I know this is something I'm sure you despise too, because it's a waste of your time, and I personally just don't have the time for it. I get people that'll come to me dealing with relationships, and they were done wrong, and they want to do work on that person. This is the thing that kills me. And already right off the bat, just by listening to them talk 2 minutes into the conversation, I already know they really want the person back. It's not that they want to do anything to harm them or control them. They want them back. And the thing that's funny to me about this is after you say, okay, and I'll test them just to see, and I'll tell them, look, don't bullshit me because I'm gonna find out one way or the other. They don't give you all the facts. And then when you say, okay, this is what I could do for you, then either the next day or hours later, they're second guessing or having doubts. And I say, look, sympathy is not part of this shit. If you want a job done, you either want it done or you don't. And I give them that rope to hang themselves because I already know they're just upset because of, what happened in the relationship. And I get it. Shit happens. But don't confuse wanting the person back for doing something. That's not the same thing. And that's where I think, then they'll go, well, I don't want to do that to him, but is there something I can do? Oh, so now I went from doing something destructive to trying to just control them. Then it goes from trying to control them to you want them back. So you got to be clear on that. See, that's fuckery I don't bother with, because that's why I try to be selective in certain situations. But on another note, something that you just said and everything that you're talking about, and when I said a minute ago, probably something I've never shared, how taxing this shit can be, just working with these energies and not just doing work for clients. Just like you said, you have your calling. It's something that's been in your genealogy, and you couldn't escape it if you wanted. I say that because there's been times in the last 20 plus years I've tried to walk away, and them spirits will call you back when you can't.
Yeah. They're going, when they get finished with you, they will cut you loose.
That's right.
They will.
I had to learn that the hard way.
I'm gonna walk away, and I know better than that. I know better than that. This is a deal that both of us cut, and I didn't sign a contract, and I don't think you did.
Right.
When they get finished, that's what it is. Somebody has to do their bidding.
That's right.
But I like what you said about the people with the work. I find that out. I just recently, for the Tranquil Spirit, I quit bullshitting it. I quit color coding it. I quit candy coding it.
That's right.
The Tranquil Spirit, let's face it, that's black magic, pure and simple.
That's it.
Simple. So now I tell people, you go on, and people that's listening tonight, please, after you hear the podcast, type in the Tranquil Spirit, Voodoo and Tranquil Spirit, and watch what it says, what you need to do. Don't do it, but just read it. Because that shit will blow up in your face like a nuclear device.
Good time.
A red or pink candle, and just know. I I quit doing that shit now. I send out a black candle, the black earth oil, and I'm not going to tell you the prayer I send out, but the very first sentence starts off with, to the wandering spirit who will never know the comfort of heaven. That's not to do anything with love.
Nothing.
That is pure brute force to bring this person back, but you're telling me you love them?
That's what I don't get. Could never figure that
Or
shit
you're
out.
working down, and I'm like you. I let them hang there. I give them a little rope to hang themselves. And 9 out of 10 times, you know that too. I want them to feel what they put me through.
There you go.
All right, I can see how this is gonna work out when they come back to the door. You know, you're gonna try to exact your revenge.
Listen,
So
but
I do what my client pays me to do. I
That's
try
it.
to talk them out of it. They want their tranquil spirit. I tell them what the basic facts is. It's not love. I do it. Don't get shocked when you open the box. They got black candles and everything else in it. Yes, that's what it is. Because years ago, before it got in vogue to use it for love work, I was in the tranquil spirit. I was just put somebody down.
right.
So I don't color code it no more. A lot of no, I don't want to hurt them like that.
Exactly.
Okay. And I like hearing the person in love work. I know I got problems. I'm working on it. Good. Yeah, because it's not just her. It's not just him. It was about 50-50. Maybe 7-8 for somebody. Somebody had a little bit more than the other one. But you weren't as pure as the driven snow.
Right.
So you had your little finger stirring this shit too. Unless you came to me.
Right.
That's like with the first thing they tell you in the academy, in the academy. But the first day of my academy, the instructor stood up there and said, "You know why people call the police?" And
Right.
everybody was answering, "Because this, that." He said, "Man, y'all all wrong." He said, "People call the police because they lost the reason or the ability to reason." And he
So,
said the worst things to happen is have officers pull up who can't reason themselves.
right. And,
And I went, that makes sense.
and the thing that you're saying, you got to be straight to the point. You got to get to the core of it. And some clients don't understand it. And let me get in another example to piggyback off what you're saying. I had a person about a year and a half, 2 years ago. A girl came to me, said she was trying to get rid of this crazy dude. She was in a relationship with him, and he's stalking her. He broke into her house and this and that. But again, when I get that premonition from the spirit that something's not being told to me, I said, "You're telling me everything." And I gave her a chance, and I knew she wasn't. So they don't realize we do. I mean, I don't know exactly how you do it, but I'll consult spirits before I even set out.
Well, yeah. The same thing. When I'm putting the stuff together, it's spirit, like I tell them, it's not like a videotape I'm sitting down watching.
Right.
They shoot me snips.
There you go.
And it's short glances of what's going on.
Right.
And a lot of times, not a lot, but sometimes, you paint this beautiful picture of why y'all, and I just want him back and shit, and I'm sealing everything up. I walk out the room to get something to drink. I'll smoke a cigarette, and I walk back in the room. The lid has popped off the mason jar.
Right.
That's physically impossible. That's
exactly.
screwed it down.
Exactly.
So the spirit's trying to tell me, no, you need to go back. Something's wrong here. You're not wrangling me into this shit.
Right.
I just recently had a client. I'm not going to. She suffers with depression. I had to diagnose it myself over the phone and stuff like that. And I shouldn't have did it in her condition of what she was saying. But once again, you do what the client wants. And I put the work out to bring the boyfriend back, and I did black work on 2 young ladies that was supposed to be involved with him. And you know me, I can't say no to black magic. So she calls me back. She made a mistake on one of the girls. That's not one of them. And I told her, I'll squeeze the trigger. I can't call that bullet back.
Yeah.
That's why I said I don't have a conscience and I'm not yours. You should have made damn sure or he was sitting in my sights. Okay.
Yeah, see,
I'm sorry. I squeezed it. I don't know what happened to that young girl.
You can't.
I don't.
See, that's the thing I'm saying. They got to get to the core and be straight to the point, because stuff like that, and that's why I kind of titled this video, Dark Sorcery, Dark Magic, because people got to understand it's not, what some people think it is. Like you say, once you release the bullet from that chamber, you can't take that back, and that's not your fault.
No.
It ain't got nothing to do with you now. It really, it's on them. And I was saying that again, that same person I was just mentioning a minute ago. It turns out that she was pretty much giving this dude pussy, and he was paying the money. She cut off the pussy, was still taking the money, but didn't tell me that. See, that changes the whole dynamics of the work. You can't. You don't do shit like that.
I had to make a video that it got so fucking bad. They would call me up for love work. I do the love work and come to find out after the work's been going 2 weeks, something like you find out they just wanted the money.
Right.
Well, why didn't you tell me that shit at the beginning? I could have did the money work. Now you just set me up for something. No, it ain't working because the dude never loved you.
That's right.
Why didn't you tell me that shit? And don't get mad at me because you strayed down the field with me. Just tell me. I'm like your doctor.
Right. You're gonna find out anyway.
If your crotch is dripping and itchy and smell like shrimp, you're not gonna lie to the doctor. I mean, if you don't give me the problem, the symptoms you having, I can't do anything with it. I can't cure shit. But I can't help you. And bro, I got mad. I had to make it if that's what it is. If you want the money, don't be embarrassed. I'll do the money work and shit. We can work around all that. But don't tell me it's love work and you mad now because he ain't give you the money. Oh, you know what you told me. Fuck that shit. You know?
Right.
So, you're right. And I've said this before, and the people that have been on here before heard me. I get so happy when I can do dark work. It's pure, simple, and to the point.
Right.
But these days, a lot of people can't. I don't know what the deal is. Why they lose people, and they come to you, and you know goddamn good and well, and you know it yourself. Any other time, they'd have threw the gas on us to burn us at the stake.
Big time.
But now they come to us.
Yep.
And you do what you do and bring the person back. And once again, they had the chance to throw the match on you, they'd burn us. Just as quick.
Well,
that's why I sound like a fly on the radar, because the shit hit the fan. Flying on the radar might get a day or two head start on your ass, you know?
Well, I always tell people, being on this path, you don't have a lot of friends. You just got acquaintances, and your circle is super small. Your circle is super small.
That's it. I've had 3 friends in my life. One died at an early age, and the other 2 accepted me for me, who I was. They was dirt poor too, so I never had a lot of friends like people have. Never did. It wasn't because I was alienating myself. It's just that me being me. And when you find a friend, a true friend, you will die for them.
That's right.
And I found somebody like that, and I would die for that person. I would stand at the gates of hell for that person. I would step in front of a bullet for that person if that was physically and scientifically possible.
Right.
When you find somebody like that, you stay with them.
That's right.
I never had that. I had acquaintances.
Right.
And that's about it.
I've learned the more I've been on this path, you lose and you lose. You keep losing. When it comes to that, friends, I've seen the circle. I can go back 15, 20 years ago and recall having countless amount of people around. And I've just seen as time went on, they fade to the wayside. And like you said, it's just that 1 or 2. All right. But what I want to do, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you had the same feeling I have. We stand in a room of 1,000 people, and we still alone.
There you go.
And that people look at, how's that? Well, okay, physically, I'm not alone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Exactly.
you're alone. You're already alone.
Big time. I agree 100%. Okay. All right, so let's get some questions for you. But before I do that, I'm going to ask Raven. Raven, did you have any questions for Bokor before we go to the main question portion of it? We'll have to go take the questions from the chat since he's on the phone. I can't have everybody call in. Somebody can come in live if you want to come in live. You can send me your email and I can bring you in live to ask Bokor a question. But other than that, Raven, did you have any questions for Bokor?
I just want to say greetings to Rodney Bokor, and we can start with the chat. I think there may be a couple that's going on in the chat.
Yeah, I see some. All right.
We can start there.
All right. So let me scroll down. Hold on. I'm just going through. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, maybe next time I can figure out the problem on my end so you can see my ugly face.
You'll probably get this question a lot, and I think you kind of addressed this earlier. This is from Faith, and they're asking, and I believe I know you addressed this earlier. You talked about it. In your system, you practice. And I know you mentioned it about traditional and Haitian voodoo. You talked about initiation and the proper places to go. So the person is asking. But let's talk about, since we're talking about the system you come from, how does one, even let's just say in the Haitian, in the New Orleans voodoo pantheon, say somebody, and I believe last time you said you don't really deal with that, but say somebody came to you and said they wanted to be initiated or become a Bokor or a Hugan, or what is your instruction for them?
A lot of people ask me, how can I become a Bokor? Well, you can't unless it's bloodline.
Right.
You have to have bloodline. But a lot of people ask to be initiated, and I tell them, look, they got a lot of good people in the United States. I mean, if you want to do New Orleans voodoo, of course you have to go to New Orleans. And there are very good people there who will not take your money and initiate you. But you might as well figure you're going to have to move to New Orleans for a little while. This isn't a correspondence course. And I think once you get to New Orleans and get into the culture and the community, you're not going to want to leave, which is cool. Right. But a lot of people, I would love you, well, a Bokor, the way I was explained to my grandfather, Bokor cannot teach unless it's bloodline.
Right. Right.
So, and I get people calling me up, asking me these questions about, I don't know from a can of paint. How do you tell, I want to do altars for so-and-so, excuse me. I can't help you. That's giving secrets. I don't even know if that energy, that spirit really wants to work with you.
That's right.
And everybody, we said this before, everybody wants to pick and choose who they want to work with. I want to work with Baron Samedi because, did you have some dreams? Did you get some signs or something?
Exactly.
Because you stepping into the major league with this one. And I tell them, if you want to start, and it kind of deflates their balloon, if you want to start something, start with Papa Legba. And I want for a while to make a video, just the simple things you could do to make an altar of Papa Legba. But I don't want anybody to scream out, I'm giving away secrets. No, I'm just trying to tell somebody it's very simple. A red cloth, a bowl, a cup, a pipe, and a candle. Right. That's all you need. Right. That's all you need. And 9 out of 10 times, that energy will connect with you if it wants to. Don't push it. But everybody wants to pick somebody. I want to work with Shango. I want to work with Ogun. They all want to go shoot the 50 caliber and hadn't shot a BB gun yet.
I don't think they understand the basic concept. The spirits choose you. You don't choose them.
They don't understand. And you notice yourself, like you said, you tried to walk away and you can't. No. We have to appease these spirits that we work with too. That's right. We just don't go to them when we have a client. Right. We can't forget about them.
That's right.
They will reach out and touch us just as fast as somebody else. And probably harder. Because they'll be like, hey, you shouldn't know, do that shit.
Shit, I've been woken up many times in the middle of the night, just waking at a sound sleep to go to the altar to do something because something's going on. Yeah.
I get up like that and walk into the altar room just to make sure the candle's on it. Yeah. Just to make sure things are right. I'll pour some rum on them. And no, you don't. I mean, everybody knows. I said in the podcast, I tell my clients, I don't sleep no more. Yeah. I might close my eyes for 2 hours. After that, I'm wide awake and rolling. I got too much shit going on in my mind. Yeah. And it doesn't help when I got clients who disregard 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Once again, I paid him to do the work. Goddamn, I don't care what he's doing. Or if I fall up on your ass, or if you really piss me off, I'll show you a different side of me. But I don't want to do that.
Right.
And I hate when you cut them loose. That's the first thing. I don't want you to come back and do anything. Man, I don't do that shit. You think I got time to waste with you? No. I don't have that time. That's like people who don't pay their bills. Man, I'm not sitting in a room sticking pins in a door and dolls. I made the deal with the spirits. I told them what I was doing for them, who you are, and they want to know what are you getting out of the deal? Because voodoo is a religion of necessity. Right. And I tell them, so if you screw me, eventually you're going to be screwed.
Right. So
I don't worry about it.
That's right. I ain't got to do anything.
It kills me as a businessman. I look on my business app and it tells me how much I made for the month, and down beneath y'all standings is catching up with what you made. That's, bro, I don't have a PhD in business, but I know those two numbers should never be close.
That's right.
And it bothers me because they'll call me up, I'll listen to them, right? They'll agree to everything, because I tell them now it's like a business. If we decide to work with each other, if you sign me on with the contract, this is what I'll do, X, 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 Y, Z. And this is the price. Okay, I agree to that. And you write them in your book, you type them in the system, and then they belly up on you.
Right.
Now, you got my system tied up. Recently, I had a client that I signed on. Yeah, I'm going to need some. Okay, cool. Man, like a month, it was almost a month, and the system cleared itself and canceled the invoice. And I probably wasn't going to take this case because at the beginning, I hate clients that tell you what you're going to do, how they going to pay you. It don't work like that.
Right.
I explained to them this is the price. This is how I get paid through my business apps and things like that. And the reply was, well, I'll get with you when I get the money. You don't do anything till I tell you. And because I don't want you fucking with me about the money. When I get ready, I'll send you Western Union. Oh, no, I had to piss on that fire real quick. 1, I don't fuck with you. 2, you're going to pay me the way I get paid. 3, I ain't hungry for your money.
Right.
So when the invoice canceled itself, 2:46 in the morning, he hit me up with his shit.
Wow.
Talking about he wasn't hungry. No, I just cut your ass off. I ain't hungry. I told you that shit. What you mad at? This isn't a layaway plan.
That's it. They don't understand. It's like a bus. You miss one, I'm gonna catch the next one anyway, so it don't matter. They don't get that part.
Exactly. If it works that good for you, I use this analogy. If you work that good for you, carry your ass to the BMW dealership, walk in the showroom, pick out the most expensive car sitting on the floor, I'm sure. Tell the salesman how you gonna pay him. They'll open the door and kick your ass out of that place and tell you carry your ass down to the Toyota lot.
That's it. All right, the next. That's it. They don't get it, man. Yeah. So the next question I got for you, Bokor, is from Cinnamon and Sage. When you were talking earlier about your calling, when you were kind of giving the history of your grandfather and your family, her question to you is, when you were talking about earlier, it skipped over your sisters and you were chosen. What happened that you knew you were chosen? So I guess she's trying to. Was there a specific event?
Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I was watching Scooby doing shit. They came to me and said they had been passed and they chose me.
Right.
I was like, who chose me? And they told me and stuff. I knew what was going on in my family and stuff. And I was like, why passed over? Because that 10 years old, you're like, well, they're older than me. I thought it was like a hierarchy, her, and then me.
Right.
And they explained to me it doesn't work like that. Something the spirits seen in them. To even be in bloodline, the spirits have to see it in you.
Right.
As I always say, and you said it before too, you don't pick voodoo, voodoo pick you.
That's right.
And they let me know. And at 10 years old, I was like, okay, great, crap. All right. And now I'm introduced into something I wasn't ready for, and this is serious. So yeah, that's what I meant when I was talking how it passed over my sisters. It passed over my two daughters. They wasn't hit at all.
Right. And yeah.
You know.
And I think that's important what you're talking about, because it kind of connects to when people, and I get it, it's not a knock on it. When people ask, and I get emails all the time from, you know, being initiated in Ether and Power, I want to get initiated. It's got to be a calling. So I think what happens is people get more infatuated with the concept of getting initiated than actually understanding. To be honest with you, in certain things you don't want to get initiated if you're not really understanding what you're committing yourself to. So yeah.
To me, it's like going into Florida like the old days, and you go, oh, look how cute the little baby gator is, and they bring it back to New York and they realize this bitch can eat me, and they flush it down the sewer.
There you go.
You try that shit with this, they're gonna flush you down the sewer.
Yeah.
I mean, so everything, it's just like you said, it's infatuation. It's a mystique, because that's like a Mason. I'm a Mason.
Right.
I don't say that I have a ring. Well, I don't know where it's at anymore. But no, I'm not walking around with the jacket, the bumper sticker, the cap.
Right.
It's a secret society, and you're supposed to be not every swinging dick know you're a Mason.
Right.
And these days, people for some hook Masonry with the black arts, with Satan. Well,
Right.
first of all, in voodoo, we don't believe in the devil. Never been one, never will be one.
That's right.
But as being picked by Baron Samedi, when my grandfather picked me, even when I was being a Hugan, yeah, I became a Mason because he is the top Mason. So it was something for me to follow in.
Right.
That's just when you pick like that. But I agree with you. It is. And that's about all the answer I can say. Is it passed over them because it was a bloodline, but the spirits didn't feel, even if they picked them, they was going to follow it. It'd have been like, we wasting our time because they're not going to do anything with it.
Right.
You know,
Good
they
point.
went after their careers, and that's as far as it went. Yeah, I went after my career, but I still had to do this. You know, I've always, all my life, been pulling double duty.
Right.
You know, so
Sure.
I hope that answered the question.
No, it definitely does. Definitely does. The next question is from Ritual Spirit. The question is, in your experience, is working with the spells of Psalms very effective? Do you do any work with that?
Uh-huh. I do a lot of work with the Psalms. And for good Bible thumping Christians, they don't, man, you know, they don't realize that. That's, you know, do a lot with the Psalms. As you know, when you read the Psalm of the Bible, it's almost like you have to be a student of the Bible. You're like, what the hell? That has nothing to do with what I need. It's how they word it. And yeah, I give the Psalms to a lot of my clients as part of their work. But yeah, the Psalms are very powerful. I think that's why they're there. Probably is about as powerful if they ever released the Book of Enoch. The things that be in there.
Yep.
You know, I'm surprised Psalms made it into the Bible sometimes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've done spells and ritual work, Psalms in conjunction with the 7 African powers. There's a lot of black magic work you can do with that, some powerful stuff. So yeah, I don't think people understand. Yeah.
They got the right Psalms you can use in black magic. And you trying to know, because once again, read Leviticus on the right-hand side of Jesus. He controlled demons to strike down infidels.
There you go.
If that's not black magic, we need to sit down and do this definition.
Yep, good point. All right. The next question is from Akpan Faku. I guess earlier you were talking about this, but maybe you could elaborate a little more. He's asking, is the curse of being a Bokor a so-called bad thing, in your opinion?
I use the word curse and don't. That's me.
Right.
Other Bokors may think that's a gift. I thought it was a gift too. But as time goes on, you become a different person. It's like, God damn, you know, can't y'all fix y'all problems? And it's constant. You trying to do something in your personal life, all day of the night. You trying to pursue a sideline to have a safety valve, and you can't. You got to hold off what you're trying to learn because of I call it a curse. Maybe if I say the whodunit, it might not have been a curse because maybe, I don't know. But somebody may walk the path of Bokor and love it. You know, that's cool. Right. I used to be like that too. But then after a while, it's like, you know, I keep going. I mean, I keep taking clients. I got to. This is my main run. I tried having a psychologist office open.
But see, even in the sense of that question, see, and I got it when you were talking about saying it was a curse. See, people hear that word sometimes, and I'm not saying that's what Akbar thought, but I didn't look at it when you said as a curse. I more or less took it. It's a heavy responsibility. It can become a burden.
That's what I meant. It's not that I'm cursed. I'm being flogged every night. Yes, I didn't think it would be like this. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, and a lot of people, you know this, a lot of the people that come to your podcast knows this. I said on my videos, I don't have a problem striking down somebody if the money's right. That's what a Bokor is.
Right.
That's what it is. I don't have a conscience. I'm not your conscience. Do I feel bad about the lady making a mistake? Not her conscience. I'll squeeze the trigger. Right. You know, I didn't put it full blast. I didn't. But that young lady is feeling repercussions now. Do I feel bad about it? No. I'll pay for that at the end. And we talked about this. I can tell people that's listening. Listen to me carefully. Right. You got a path that you on from the day you're born. You have a spirit, we call it the Metet, that walks with you, that little voice inside of you. And I'm guilty too. That voice try to tell you something, you do it, and after it blows up, man, I should have listened to that little voice. That's what that voice is there for. You're on a path. You try to deviate off that path, something that wasn't meant for you, your ass will get back on that path. Yep. When I die, I believe we have 3 chances. One, you come back spirit a little while to help people. I was never that good. 2, you come back as again. You born as an empty vessel. When the doctor slaps the bottom of the feet to take the first breath in that scream, that is a soul being slammed back in there to try it again. I don't want to come back. I'm not a multi-millionaire right now, so undoubtedly I'm not doing anything wrong. And I see bits and pieces of my past, and I've always been in battles. Granted, yeah, I was an officer in battle, but I'm tired of dying on the battlefield. I don't want to come back. The third choice is go through the third door. You walk to earth till the second coming. Right. To me, that is a goddamn vacation.
That's it.
No more work, no more bills, no more heartache, no more loss, no more sorrow. I'm cool.
Right.
I'm cool. I'll take door number 3, Bob.
There you go.
And everybody's worried about that. And something else. We all have to pay for what we did. That's why there's such a thing as Dante Inferno's Purgatory. Nobody walks in through the gates and goes straight to the right-hand side. From level 1 all the way down to level 8, we have to go through there. When you get down to 5, 6, 7, 8, you're not coming back up. And that's what I tell people. If you know the Bible or you know anything about this religion, even you, Santeria people, they know that. Come to New Orleans, our streets are named after the levels of Dante's Inferno. Elysian Fields, the road on the side of one of the cemeteries, Hades. That's how enriched and evolved that city is.
Right.
But that's my aspect of it.
Right.
I mean, let's face it, bro. If I was a millionaire, I would be on this radio show right now.
That's it. There you go.
I don't know if that answered the question.
No, I think it did. All right, so the next question is a 2-part question from Matson. And I have actually something here kind of help with this. He asks, what's a good book? And let me show you these 2, and then you can give your feedback. Yeah, I'll show these 2. He's asking, what's a good book to learn about the voodoo gods and goddesses? Well, here's one here. I'm going to show 2, actually. I showed one of these last time. This is the Haitian Voodoo Handbook by Kinaz Filan. That's a very good book, again, but dealing strictly with the Haitian aspect of voodoo. And then this is a great book, and I know you talked about this one, Rodney. I know you can't see because you're not in live. The the Voodoo Hoodoo Spell Book by Denise Alvarez.
Denise, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very
Excellent
good book. Her family, she walks the path. She takes you from the beginning all the way, even into some of the spell work and oils and all that. She uses the old terms. The things you have to gather, she uses in the old terms. You have to start Googling what the hell she talking. That's what she means. So yeah, it's very good. Then if you're interested in New Orleans voodoo, read that book, and she takes you how it throws involved in it for every little thing. Mardi Gras. People go around singing Mardi Gras Mambo or Iko Iko. Come on, let's face it. Come on. My grandma, your grandma sitting by a fire. Right. That's two Mambos trying to explain, trying to tell each other who's strongest.
That's it.
And so she takes you from that, and you kind of go, oh, yeah. So that's a good book. I mean, I read both of them, and they're good books. And her stuff she has in the back about her oils and stuff almost mimics what my great grandmother wrote, even in the old terms that she used. Right. And she calls her flack for that book.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's two very good books.
Yeah. Okay. And the second part of the question, and I'm just going to throw something quick in there, and I'll let you give your answer to this. Is it better to learn voodoo in a group or figure it out on your own? I'm just going to say this real quick and then let Bokor expound. I would say it just depends on your level of involvement. Do you just want knowledge on it? Then you can do a lot of research yourself. But yeah, I personally, I think if you really are sincere and have a calling or intent to get involved and you want to actually become a practitioner, I think like you were saying early, Brother Rodney, you should find a good circle you can get into. So your thoughts on that?
I believe if you've been picked, you've been picked. If you were picked, then I'm always yelling about bloodline. That's what Bokor people, regular folk, can be picked. It's the spirits picking you if they find that in you. You can start with that. Start getting knowledge, read everything you can read, and then find out a good place you can go to with honest, reputable people to help guide that energy that you're beginning to learn.
Right.
Because even if you've been picked without bloodline, you're learning and learning, but you're not sure where to channel that to. So anything that you do may be too weak, and that's what happens. You get frustrated, walk away from it. Or two, it's going to be so powerful, somebody's going to get hurt, and you didn't mean that. And that's something you got to live with after. A lot of people practice Haitian voodoo in Haitian. They are Haitian. Got a client now told me about her mother. She practiced the Haitian. The person, the energy she worked with all the time was Malinette Piasesh, the tranquil spirit. Mm-hmm. As soon as I heard that, I went, boy, this is going to turn out bad. Yeah. Something happened, and the woman is now totally Christian. Well, the only thing I could see is she saw Malinette Piasesh, the tranquil spirit, as what it truly is. It's tortured souls. Yeah. I guess I may be wrong, but in New Orleans voodoo, all the people I don't know anybody that has an altar and just works with that one energy. So when I heard that, I went, man, that's new. At 50 years old. Right. I didn't know anybody that just works with that one spirit, that one energy all the time. Right. That's something heavy to deal with. Right. And I think she was showed something once that she couldn't handle, and she turned back to Christianity and turned her back on this religion. And like you said, if you have been picked, no matter who you work with energy, when they get ready to retire you will be retired. There you go. If you fight it, the church ain't going to help you. At all. Because that's the same energy in that church. The same energy. You're praying to a statue of Jesus. You know who that is in voodoo. Right. You're praying to the statue of Virgin Mary. You know who that is in voodoo. So, no, if you've been picked, know that. Learn, read, ask questions, and then find somebody that can channel that energy. There are good people out there.
Right.
Bokors can't teach, but good energy is like in your religion.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to be handpicked through blood.
No.
But you need to find, as you said, how much money it costs, and people have written mortgages off. And I'm like, God damn, I'm going this far. I hope you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know, so
well,
that's mine.
Unfortunately, and I've said this before, and many people have asked, I've said it before on many shows, and it's sad, but it is a reality. Now, when I did it, obviously, I'm going back, almost 18 to 20 years ago, 2001, 2002. And I know back then, and I'm hearing the ridiculous prices like you're talking about. I know back then when I did it, you could get crowned Oshun for like $5 to $7 grand. Now I'm hearing, like you said, 15, 20, 25, $30,000. Because unfortunately, and I warn people of this, be careful. And like you just said, Bokor, your intent might be good, but you might be going to wolves in sheep clothing. And when they see you're desperate, they'll pounce on you, and they'll, like you said, they'll take you. If you don't know really anything, like you said, educate, read, study, ask questions, because if you don't know, there are some people that can sense that in you, and then you're a victim. You don't even know it. But I know, obviously, going back to 2002 to now, 17, 18 years later, whatever, obviously, I'm sure the cost of things have changed, because obviously in them ceremonies, there's a lot of ameros and herbs and animals.
There's the animals. The little dude in Florida was talking about the house they have to rent. Well, dude, if you initiate people for that kind of money, you should have bought that house already.
I agree.
The clothes you got to wear, the animals, the sacrifices, all that's being paid for. That's like now, as you know, you probably use these terms too, and ask somebody this. I'm a Tatan Pala my own man. I got to the point now, show me scratches.
Right. Yep.
If you hadn't been scratched, I'm not sure, correct me, and anybody, your listeners, I'm not trying to sound like an ass, but I might be wrong. You're going to get scratched.
Yes. Yeah, you do have to have scratch marks. That's true. Which I have on my right arm on the top. And well, here's the thing, though. Another thing, I've red flag. I had somebody email me about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Stay away from online, tatas that are selling naga pots. Well, the other thing you want to ask somebody who's been scratched in power, who's your godparents, and where do they trace the lineage of their naga pot?
Because you and I know I can sit down and hang up and scratch myself.
Oh, big time.
I mean, so that really doesn't work. No. But I like to ask people that because it's a 50-50 shot. They can pull out their scratches. So, okay, well, now I'm going to fall back and rethink my next question. If they play you off, something's wrong with that picture.
Big time.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Tatan Pala Mayombe is somewhat the equivalent of a Bokor.
Pretty much.
They work with the mortal, and the mortal is right, and they pop your pimple. I love to do that. And I love to have a roadmap for my spirit. If they're too foul, I pop their ass and come back.
And here's the thing with power. That's how many emails I get. People, you can't voluntarily get initiated in power. You have to be marked to get initiated in power. And either it's done by going in front of somebody's naga and through divination, or anybody can pretty much attend a gathering for the Palo spirits. But if you're marked, one of the spirits of Palo Mayombe will come down. And this is how my calling came. You'll be pulled in the middle of the circle, and they will draw the veves on you. Something will take place where you are marked to be scratched. I know my godfather had to turn many people away because they were told this actually could be something harmful or detrimental to you. It's not marked. It's not in your blood. You're not marked. There's no need for you. It don't mean you can't work with the power spirits. It's just there's no need for you to be scratched. And that's what they don't understand about some of these systems. The spirits choose you. Like you said earlier, you might want to work with Baron Samdi, but Baron Samdi may not want to work with your ass just because you like it.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree with you. But what you just said about the man, so you don't have to be scratched, all that. We covered that once. One of the that female client, a caller called last time. It's up for now. Should we leave the statues in voodoo as the saints with the white face?
Right.
Some of us paint them black or brown, as I do to some of mine. And it's a big thing going on. And I'm like, well, the spirits accepted it all these hundreds of years.
Right.
That's cool. In voodoo, we must remember when the slave master, the overseer, came over the door to your cabin, let's face it, there wasn't a knock, they opened the door and walked in. And says, all right, they're doing earthly flayda. They got her painted in the brown figure and all that. Oh, that was it. They'd shut the door, bolted, locked it, threw kerosene on the bill and burn it. Right. So we had to hide in plain sight.
Right.
So it's up to you. Now, him saying you don't need to be scratched, that's an opinion. But it worked for so long, and that has been the norm and the guideline. Why you want to change the wheel?
That's it. I shared one with my connection with Papa Legman. I didn't do too much work with a lot of the Catholic saints, and I think I briefly mentioned this one other time. But I found out through with the spirit that Papa Legman been working with me since day one, going back as a child through the Child of Antioch. And I never noticed it till he showed me, because it was an image, that same image of the Child of Antioch. My mother had it in her bedroom. Then it was passed to my godmother. And I didn't know this. And then about 5-6 years ago, she said, I got something for you. And I didn't know what it was. And to my surprise, I go over there. She just was compelled and didn't understand why, she had this Child of Antioch statue to present to me. And I knew, I said, okay. So he trying to communicate to me that because there's a connection lineage-wise through the blood. So I went to, unfortunately, one of my close friends passed away last year, right around this time. And then lo and behold, the church that he had his funeral was a big Catholic church, and they had a huge statue of the Child of Antioch. But this is just my own personal vision, not to get too much into subjective stuff because it's personal. And I saw then the actual, as the statue dissipated, I saw the actual image of Legba with the hat and the pipe, and he was walking with the cane, and I saw him walk. It was just what I was saying because of what I was tapped into. I saw him walk across the altar. So ever since then, I came back last year and created an altar for Legba, but centered around the concept of the Child of Antioch. Like you said, to your testament. Now, I had to learn that. I wasn't so much, didn't shoot it down completely, because I think people focus on it. Why, like you say, why still use this? I personally, I think it's up to the practitioner, but like you said, it's something that's been working for so many years. So if people choose to do it, work. If you don't, if you're not comfortable with it, then do what you need to do. Yeah.
You're not going to insult them. It took me the longest time to find the perfect statue for Ogun, and I had to wind up painting it the proper skin tone.
Right.
And I made the biggest mistake in the world. I said that. I made a video about it. And sure enough, a comment was, I ain't got nothing to do with Ogun. And I said in the video, my spirit of Ogun didn't instruct me to build his pot.
Right.
I didn't have anybody to give me the secrets to put inside of the cauldron.
Right.
And so it's the spirit. If you work with, they're going to tell you what to do. Correct. You said you seen Papa Legba walk across. I told you the story about being in uniform that day, seeing that old man at the bus stop with the dog, the cane, and I walked out, got to my trunk, got 3 $1 bills, a small bottle of rum, walked to him, knelt on the ground, put his hand on my forehead, and told him thank you. And he said, thank you, my son. I walked out, got in my car. When I pulled out that parking lot, that old man wasn't animal. That's and right. I don't think he got that dog and sprang it down the road. That's right. Yeah. And the repercussions hit me. God, if they call headquarters and say, yo, one of your officers kneeling down, well, good thing the Orleans Police Department got a lot of voodoo practitioners in there, because they probably had me go see the psychiatrist.
All right, let's try. Yeah, they definitely would have. I'm sure they would have. All right, let's. Yeah. But again, that's you know, obviously it's tough to get in this, you know, the personal experiences because it's personal, and you know, we don't expect people to accept just our personal experiences, but these are just signs of calling. This is how you know, this is how you discern when the spirit is actually talking and communicating with you through symbols, signs, or experiences. But let's try to get to the rest of these questions before it gets too late, Brother Rodney. I don't know if we're gonna have time to get through all of them because we should. I'm scrolling down. I think we could be able to finish. All right. So the next question, when you were talking about, and then I'm gonna go back. I didn't forget your question, Ritual Spirit. When you were mentioning earlier, you were giving a history. You were mentioning about werewolves. So the question is this like the Skinwalker pacts where certain rituals needed to be done to transform? Or what exactly were you alluding to earlier when you were talking about werewolves? There's quite kind of the question.
The Skinwalker is something completely different. That is more Native American and things like that. What I'm talking about in the werewolf, the Lugaru, however you want to say it.
Right.
It's a wordplay. One means shapeshifter, and the other means spirit. You know, it's a spirit for us. Same thing, the wordplay of vampire. The correct saying for it is vampire, not Nosferatu.
Right.
It's a vampire.
Right.
To us, a vampire is something that's going to draw your energy from you.
Right.
Same thing.
Right.
But we call it different. I guess if you have that kind of energy, you can be anything you want to be, from a Skinwalker, Rougarou, or anything like that. What I was trying to say is, I know people are going to think I'm crazy. I believe in it. I believe in both of them. I've used Rougarous in my work. I believe in the story that the Native American told me about how somebody that offended the tribe gets cursed with this, but they still have human thoughts. That's why they stay deep in the swamps. They don't want to hurt nobody. And the only way to be broken is curse, and somebody has to cut you with a knife, and as soon as your blood starts to come out, the curse ends. I've been in the swamps. I've seen things and heard things. I've came upon tracks. That ain't a bear. That's not a coyote, and it definitely ain't a gator or a crocodile. So yeah, a Skinwalker, from what I know, is about the same, if you want to say it. It goes to the other thing too. That's all very thin lines sitting on the same fence. What do you call it? That damn thing? Oh shit! 10 minutes ago I could have told you. So anyway, no, I think it's the same energy, just brought on in different cultures, showing a different face. As a demon will first show themselves as a child, because we're more apt to think, "Oh, a child can hurt us. A child ripping your ass," you know.
Right.
So.
Okay. Appreciate it. And then on another note, briefly, from Ritual Spirit, recommended places to visit in New Orleans and places to avoid, in your opinion.
Okay. First thing, don't ever go to New Orleans or Mardi Gras, because you ain't gonna see nothing but 1 million people. That's not the time of year to take in the city. Any other time, cool. Congo Square. Get the history. That's where they allowed the slaves on Sundays to go and worship and let off a little steam, but not too much. St. Louis Cemetery, go visit Marie Laveau's grave. Feel the energy around there. Definitely go to the museum and get the tour of Madame Marie Dauphine Lavaurie and get that feeling. Go into Storyville and listen to the music. And jazz is hooked with voodoo. One place to go is to the New Orleans Museum. There's a man, I think he's still alive, James Gandolfino. That man knows more about New Orleans voodoo than some practitioners. That man is a vast encyclopedia of voodoo. Go to the museum, listen to him, take his tour, listen to that man. What he's saying isn't lights, cameras, and action. Like I said, he doesn't practice voodoo. That man is a wealth of knowledge. I think he's still alive. But go there, Congo Square, St. Louis Cemetery, Storyville, and you're going to draw this up. Take the tour, or if there might not be tours until certain times, go to Bayou St. John, where all the rituals used to be held. Drive down to Lake Pontchartrain. They used to hold the rituals there. Follow the footsteps.
Right.
Go down Gentilly Boulevard by Dulles University. That is the same street that was walked by Marie Laveau and her teacher, Dr. John Montagny. We spoke about that on our last broadcast.
Yeah.
Feel that energy. Saying voodoo in New Orleans, nobody shuns anything. Everybody practices voodoo. If they don't, their family has practiced voodoo. Everybody knows that the New Orleans Police Department is full of people who practice voodoo because that was our culture. A very good friend of mine will be soon the first female black superintendent, and she is a full mambo.
Okay.
So that's how that city. Make a list on your phone, the names of Dante's Inferno. Check the streets off on the map. Elysian Fields.
Right.
It all goes down. That's how that city is wrapped in there.
Okay.
But those places, the New Orleans Voodoo Museum, Congo Square, the cemetery, and Storyville.
Okay.
After that, and get some, eat some good food,
Right.
and then hit Bourbon Street.
There you go. Okay. Appreciate it. This question was a comment just to pass to you. Dark Soul Jeweler says, wonderful to hear you again, Bokor. So it's just a comment. And then we actually, I see here, Dee Dee Heyman, that was the young lady that we were talking about earlier that called at the end of the last show, and she thanks us. She thanks all. So it's good to see her here and doing good from what it appears. So the young lady that we were talking about earlier that called at the end of the last show, she's actually here now. So
good.
That's good. Good to see her. Good to see.
She was left in good hands with you.
Yeah, good to see. Well, she thanks everybody. Me, you, everybody, and I know there were some people in the chat at that time too. Were giving her, uplifting advice. So we're good to see you here, and I'm sure everybody, it's grateful for you thanking them. So,
that was good.
all right. So Akpan asked, and I think you kind of touched on this earlier, but I'll just throw it out there again. We were actually talking about this earlier. Can the voodoo hoodoo be combined with other systems? Is the question.
I understand the question. Can voodoo be combined like with Santeria?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would learn one as much as I can learn and be initiated, and then step over to the next one. I know a lot of people are initiated in voodoo, Santeria, Ifa. No, if the spirits are working with you, one, basically the same spirits in the next religion. The name's different. Their energies may be a little different. No, I know a lot of people. For myself, hell, I just got my hands full with voodoo. I understand Santeria and the rest of the religions. I would love to be initiated in Santeria, but after they set the prices, I'll just go to Cuba and get my family members to help me.
Yeah, you better.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Why you open up your spiritual world, you open up your eyes.
Right.
Just learn, but don't be like a lot of people. They initiate here, initiate there, and I know I talk to a lot of them. I can tell in their voice and what they're saying. They're trying to master all this for one given power. That ain't gonna work.
Right.
That's not. If you're looking to be Darth Vader, that ain't gonna work. We'll talk to John Lucas Landers or whatever, but it's not gonna work like that. But no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Okay. This question, I'm gonna also comment on this and then pass it to you. This is from Akpan, another question. How is black magic used to bring peacefulness? Now, let me say this. If somebody asked me what would I consider myself, I would say a black magician or a black adept, whatever term floats your boat. I got to be clear on this, and I don't want this to be misinterpreted. It depends on your definition of peace, all right? Because peace sometimes can be an illusion or people's concept of it. I say really a black magician attains what somebody might call peace, if you want to call it that, and I probably wouldn't. It's really about understanding the harmony of utilizing what we would call light and dark energies. As well. This is just my approach to it. A black magician not only has to be skilled in the dark arts, but he has to be skilled in understanding what one might define as lighter energies or lighter paths. And I think the challenge is to create that harmony, or what you might be labeling peace, is how do you harmonize all those energies? That's the challenge, in my opinion. Your thoughts on that, Bokor? That's the question. How does black magic bring peacefulness? Yeah.
I agree with you. That's a very good analogy. To me, as a Bokor and a black magician, I hate to say it like this. To bring peace to something is almost like having a B-52 strike in a war. There's going to be collateral damage, but I'm going to come around to my way of thinking.
Right.
That's how it would work. But don't ever let it fool you that sometimes pain has to be involved with things being corrected. Sometimes things are put out of balance, they have to be put back in balance. You get slapped in the face, you're not going to hand that person some roses. But there's an outcome. There's a yin and a yang, as you said. You don't have to walk with the olive branch and the dove in your hand and singing kumbaya all the time. Exactly. You're going to get walked over. It goes back, and I know I do a lot of analogies. People never even heard of this, maybe the older people. Back in the nuclear days, there was an Air Force general, four-star general called Curtis LeMay. He was in charge of the Strategic Air Command. His symbol for his jets was a steel gauntlet fist holding an olive branch with a dove flying around it.
Right.
So that's basically his analogy. That's basically mine. If I need to use that gauntlet, I'm going to knock your ass to the ground, but I'm going to pick you up and use the olive branch, let the dove fly around. Now we have understanding.
Right.
But peace can be drawn through black magic. Black magic isn't just there for destruction all the time.
No.
It's how the magician uses it.
Correct. I agree, 100%. All right, I think these next two you kind of answered, so we could probably maybe just really, really quick touch on them so we can get to some of the other ones. The next question was, is it a must to be initiated, or can you just practice the system? I think we kind of elaborated on it. You don't have to be initiated, but you got to be educated and know your role and limits. So your thoughts on that? What would you say to somebody that, I know this question comes up quite a bit, somebody that's not fully initiated but would like to practice the system? I think you touched on it earlier, like start with Legba and stuff like that.
If that is what you want to do and voodoo is it, you have to start with Papa Legba. If you make a mistake, he is going to slap your hand. Yes, he is a trickster, but the tricks he's going to put to you is things in life to help you. But let's not forget about hoodoo. If your drawback is the initiation and the money and stuff like that, you can learn hoodoo and be a damn good hoodoo practitioner and work your way up to a conjure man, two-headed doctor. Don't never think hoodoo is a weak sister. Like I said, there's hoodoo practitioners I had to come up against. That's not going to end well. It's not. It'll probably be like an old gunfight in the West. Whoever got their gun out first is going to win. But it's not all just voodoo. But you can learn under hoodoo and still find spirituality and openings and being showed things just as much as voodoo. But if voodoo is your path and you want to get started and not even being initiated, just start off simple with Papa Legba. As I said, you don't have to, it's a simple red cloth with a cup for his libations, a bowl for his food, and a red candle and a pipe. And you can do it like that. He will appreciate that. But this is the disclaimer. Once you get started, don't have it as a passing fade or fad.
Right.
You do it for 3 months and then, I got tired and walk away. They don't like that. I put it to a lot of my clients. The same thing is if I'm at my apartment, I got a girl in the apartment with me, knock on the door, I peek through the holes, another chick I've been talking to, I run back to the girl on the couch by the arm, bring her to the bathroom, put in the shower, shut the curtain, slam the door, go to the door. How mad you think that chick in that tub's gonna be?
That's right.
That is not gonna work out, especially if I ask come out there while you talking to the other one. And if she stays in there that long, when she does come out, you're gonna get your ass knocked off.
Right.
Think about that. You just can't do it and turn it off. Once you get started, and if they accept to work with you, you can't just forget that. It's not like I'm gonna have a baby and I take care of it for 6 months after that. I'm tired of feeding it. Your ass gonna go to prison when it die. So maybe that's what I can say, as you said, to start off with Papa leg bar, but don't ever forget about hoodoo.
Right.
They may find it easier.
That's it. All right, appreciate that answer. And then the next question, I think you kind of touched on this guy. I think Angel came in late. As far as being a Bokor, you can't be trained without, it's got to be bloodline. So he's asked, I guess the question again that is being asked, you can't be taught to be a Bokor if you're not bloodline. So I think you answered that earlier.
Well, that's how it was passed to me. There may be some people I ain't know what he talking about. Well, that's how it was passed on to me. Anybody that's been picked or wants to stay with it through the initiations, become Hugan, Mambo. That was how I was taught through my family.
Right.
But why? I mean, why? Just want to carry the title of Bokor? Because you type in Bokor on the internet, a bike's gonna come up.
Right.
So, but don't want to carry the title if you can't carry the burden.
Yes. That's
If
important.
if you got a problem and you can handle, okay, I'm good, and you know your magic can work, and you reach out and, as I say, touch somebody, and it happens, you got to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Whatever happens at your hands.
Right.
So.
Yep. Good point. And then Angel also wrote comments, just to let you know. He says, also, Brother Rodney, I commend you on your handling of the nonsense that has been verbally thrown around at you. You're a stand-up dude. So he just wanted to let you know that.
I appreciate it. I try to be cool about it. When I do get back on to say something, I've done my research. As I said, it's always, you ripped off my best friend's cousin's third removed wife, Cocker Spaniel. It's never that person.
Right.
And I keep records. If you're not in my log book from years back, and I don't show you up on any of my payment files, we ain't worked. Anybody can say something.
Yeah.
And like I said, I try to leave it now so people can see it. I had that happen when I was in Chicago. I left that on for a long time, and I made a rebuttal, video about it. I'm serious. Everybody died. My client died. Her husband died. The dog died. But I'm still talking to my client. So that's what we're dealing with. You get cheerleaders from other camps and try to do things. I understand that everybody wants to perform, for who their winning team. But it's okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, though.
Yep. And I think we kind of touched on this. Obviously, I'm not sure if this person came in late. VL's Corner. I was into OCHA for years ago, but left to walk my own path. I've been working with the law from both Voodoo and the 21 divisions, Baron, Candelo. I've worked with Candelo within the 21 divisions to Ogul, for 7 years, what's your take on non-initiates working with the lower? And I think we addressed that. Again, you just talked about it a minute ago. There's got to be that calling, as far as if you feel compelled to work with the spirit. And one thing you said that's important, Rodney, and I know you touched on it quick, but I think we need to go back to that. Don't take this shit as a fad where, like you said, because you might, and that's where people, I always say, understand the calling and understanding what you're doing, because if it's just a phase, or it's just you came across it, you're kind of captivated by it, it's a temporary thing, because like you said, don't just do this and then you're into it for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden you're just not interested no more, and you stop. That's not a good thing to do. I want to stress that. And you mentioned it. So I think you kind of talked about this already. And again, it falls in that line. If you want to elaborate a little bit more, if not, we can move on.
No, man.
Yeah.
No, you covered it quite well.
Yeah.
Don't take it as a fact. I mean, 'cause a lot of people get into it, and they're out at the club, and they're telling their friends, they sit down, Google-eyed and shit like that. And then a year later, you get tired of it. You don't do nothing with your altar. It's collect dust. You pick it up, throw it in a box, and throw it in a storage unit. That's not a good idea. As you said, you tried to walk away from it, and they keep pulling you back.
Yeah, you can.
If they want to work with you and accept you, then it's like me. The deals I was made with things I can't do, I can't go back on that. I know damn good and well if I try to shut this down tomorrow, that's not going to be really good. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. It goes back to the analogy of the girl in the shower. She going to kick your ass when she out of the shower and you're not going to talk to her again.
Right.
So, just don't play it off. You wouldn't do it in the church. You wouldn't go to the Catholic Church and, hit it all the time, twice on Sundays. We'll stop doing it in the middle of the week and light your candle and kneel and pray, and then all of a sudden it stops. I don't think anything repercussions come back on you after the Catholic Church. But when you really need something, ask out and reach out, I think the numbers going to be disconnected.
I agree. All right. The next one, question was, this is from Matthew Watson. Can demons and these gods take physical forms, and how much power is needed to do so? They can. I think we'd be here all night. The power, that's a whole night. I'm not laughing because it's funny, because it's not. In my experience, I don't know your experience with some of the spirits you work with, Rodney, and I know you've talked about it. But can they take physical form, and how much power? I don't know if you can explain in words, but I don't think I would be able to, because I think that's complex. It's more of an experience. How much power does it take to do so, if, in your opinion, they can take physical form?
I believe, and I've seen twice, I believe that was Papa Laker.
Right.
I'm a grown man. I'm a psychologist, and I humbled myself on the ground on a knee. I knew that was him. I knew it in my heart. I was walking down Bourbon Street one day, going back to the Bokor district, which is the police district inside the French Quarter, and I felt this energy. And so I stopped, leaned against the wall, lit a cigarette, up, looking up down the street, and lo and behold, walking down the street was this well-dressed, elderly black man carrying himself like a god. And I knew that was Baron Samedi. So there's several spirits that can cross over from the spiritual world to the physical world.
Right.
It takes a lot of power. That's like when things bump in your house and you invited, or maybe something came in, or you bought a house that had spiritual activity going on. For a spirit just to take a simple thing like a glass and slide it across the table, that took all their energy. They got to go lay and rest somewhere and build up more energy. It takes a lot of energy to do something in the physical world. Several times I know of people that had things in their house and got demonologists and spiritualists to come in there and cleanse the house. Sage, holy water, oil in every room. 3 months later, you see it on TV a lot with some of these documentaries. Right. 3 months later, everything comes back with a vengeance. And I I've learned they went to you track them to every room and cornered them. They hid in the drain pipe, in the tub, in the sink, in the kitchen, and they laid there dormant, pissed off because I took all their energy. And when they come back, they're gonna rip somebody a new ass because now they pissed off. No, spirits can change, or I think the spirits that we deal with, the energies that we deal with, it doesn't drain energy from them to come into the physical world. I mean, they are spirits, they are saints. We just call them by different names. Yeah, they can, and I know for damn sure. One, that old man was stopped on Legba, and I know that was Baron Something walking down the street.
Right.
I know it was.
Right.
And I should have gathered myself, ran across there, shook his hand, and bowed my head to him and asked that one question. Because if you get that chance with Baron Something, he will give you the straight, honest answer. There's no bullshit to it. None.
Right.
And I'm pissed off about that. I don't think I'll ever get a second chance at that. But I should have gathered myself and when I asked that one question from him.
Right.
He will answer any question honestly. But don't be holding his hand as he walks away. Because as the legend goes, whatever he has in his hand, he takes with him.
All right, looks like we got two more, and then we're gonna wrap it up. First, Dee Dee Heyman, the young lady, who was that caller from last time, says very much enjoy. Love brother Bokor Rodney and big brother Beniti. Thank you. And Ritual Spirit says thank you, Bokor. All right, and then the last one. I'm not sure if I understand this question. Is it okay to pay respects to the Voodoo Queen in case they want her site left alone? I guess when you were talking earlier about visiting the site.
If they pay the respects to what was the question again?
Is it okay to pay respects to the Voodoo Queen in case they want her site left alone?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you pay respect and you don't have to do anything if I'm understanding the question right.
Right. That's what I. That's
it's
how
like
I
going
took
to
it.
the church, and yeah, it's like going to the church on Sunday and paying respects to the saints and all that, and then you walk out. No, that's fine. Then you're gonna find out if you need something. Then you can go back and respectfully ask, and it'll probably be granted because it's not just physical bullshit of I asked what I need. I'm nowhere to be found. So no, that's cool. You ain't gonna know nothing's gonna happen with that. I mean, everybody likes to have respect paid to them.
Right. All right. I think we are going to wrap it up, brother Rodney. Again, I want to thank you for coming on, and I will definitely reach out to you, try to get you back here like we've been doing frequently. I'm sure I know you got some work to do. I got some work to do before it gets late. But I definitely thank you for spending 2.5 to 3 hours with us. Greatly appreciated.
I appreciate it. And I'll always leave saying this. I thank y'all for letting me share your conversation.
No, we appreciate it. And before you go, if you once again could give people your where to contact you, your email. I know you got the YouTube. Let them know how they can find, reach you and where they can get in contact with you.
If you need any services or anything, just go to my website on YouTube. Hit the little triangle thingy. I guess is the name for it. And my phone number and my email is there. Just a heads up, I got a bad habit of not checking my emails every 10 seconds like some people. It's better to text me, and even if you email me, I usually catch it in about a day or two and I will answer you. But I'm not one of them people that's constantly checking their email. I just got too much shit going on. Right. And most of my stuff I'd rather text, because even when I email you back, I'll tell you this is the point where we can be set up with. Please text me your answer, because I'll start doing something 10 minutes later, forget to look again. You said, yeah, well, 1 o'clock tomorrow will be fine, and I don't get back to you till Wednesday. I'm not trying to duck you out. I just don't check my email.
Right. Makes
but
sense.
Go through my videos, listen to my ramblings. I plan on making more. I'm buying more equipment so I can do a few more things. But like I said, I got to the point now make a video of something I want to talk about, something that people understand. I know I get on there and I rant when I get pissed off about something. I don't like to do that. Just recently I had to ask my people to step up and defend religion. Something was brought to my attention. But it was an enemy from the past that I dealt with, a so-called Wiccan. Put up a young man here that has a little online botanica.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she pumped him up as a New Orleans Bokor Haitian in New Orleans voodoo, and that wasn't gonna fly. You need to give me your background. You need to tell me something only a Bokor would know. And when I put that out, they came back with a very negative post. And it wasn't 5 minutes later when the young man found out about it, he tore it down and apologized. I spoke to the young man. That was done without his knowledge. The person who did it weaseled their way in to help him with his business. One of those friends who was going to drain you. And it didn't work. I had to shoot her in the ass for something else. I'm not finished with her yet. I don't forget my enemies. I don't. I'm not finished with her yet.
Right.
But I'm not going to get on there and rant and rave about somebody because I'm not going to give you that energy. I'm just going to put the nails in your coffin.
There you
So
go.
just check me out and see what it is. I'll set up an appointment with you. Like I said, I started doing that, and that really didn't work any better than the last one, but at least it's controls chaos. And I appreciate it. I like coming here. I like talking. So anytime y'all want to hear my ramblings, and I'll try to get it fixed when next time y'all can see me. I don't know what happened this time.
All right. But I appreciate it. I will be in touch. And again, thank you for your time. And I know all the listeners appreciate it. And we'll come up with something else for the next show. But I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see everybody on the next show. All right. Peace.
Thank you.
All right.